What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rsay podcast. My name is Arsenio Mass. You can follow me on Instagram at RSAYSR, or you can follow the podcast page at Rsay Podcast. Today, I got a good one, man. I'm telling you, I told you I've been dropping gems. This is no different. I'm telling y'all. I have Phil, the Blerd Explorer, here. He has written two travel guides for two separate cities in Korea. But before we get into all that, I want him to introduce himself and give away your plugs, man, and we'll get right into it, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, everybody. I'm Phil. I go by the Blerd Explorer on Instagram. Like you said, I'm the author of two travel guides called the Black Travelers Guide to Incheon, South Korea, and the Black Travelers Guide to Daegu, South Korea.
Oh yeah, you got way more than that, brother.
So,
You you are you a professional gamer? Is that correct, or you just pretty much
nah,
go out there?
I don't do that. I ain't got a computer for that.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, yeah, I haven't finished Daegu yet, but
Yeah.
I read Incheon, and the only way I know how to spell that, well, pronounce it, well, secondly was because you just said it, but firstly because Brandon, aka the Burnt Egg Roll, I did a podcast with him as well. He said he lived in that same exact city for like 10 years.
Oh wow.
so, so I told him he should give you a call, talk to him, get you on his podcast and stuff.
Okay, yeah, no doubt. I'll definitely come on. So,
Hell yeah. All right, man. So now that everybody sees what you look like on my podcast, how the hell is it that 6'6", right?
yeah, 6'7", 2 meters, 200 centimeters for the international float.
Okay. You gonna stun on us. I see. What kind of looks? You did discuss it in your book, but for the ones that haven't read it, I'd like for you to kind of discuss what a 6'6" African American man in South Korea, what their experience is like.
Well, I know so. Really, for any non-white person, like now, I made this mention in both books that a lot of times that when you travel through Asia, especially particularly Korea, you're going to get lots of stares because you're not because Korea is homogenous, where the population looks the same, right? So anybody who looks different, deviates from the group, from the social norm, they're going to stand out and be going to get talked about. Now, it's not surprising that all foreigners get stared at, right? But usually the level of stares and intents vary from person to person.
Mm.
Usually, mostly by skin tone, by hair. So I do basically, yes, white people do get stared at, but usually those of a darker complexion can get the more stares than anybody else, especially black people, black and brown people.
Do they think you're a basketball player because of your height?
Yeah, some of them did. Now, true story. So I moved to Korea in 2018. No, excuse me, May 2016, and working as an ESL teacher, which I still do. And I had students who referred to me as LeBron James or Obama teacher, because again, most of them never really seen a black person up close. And around 2018, that all changed. And then I got referred to me, and I'm pretty sure other black teachers, we got referred to as Wakanda teacher or Black Panther teacher.
Oof.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, if that happened here.
The only difference is because the young, of course, the kids, they're trying to be assholes because kids can be at times, especially elementary students, and also because lack of exposure. The big one is lack of exposure.
That makes sense. Yeah, sure. So, when you're getting these stares and people are gawking at you, and you did mention in the book that they will touch your hair without asking.
I've heard it. It doesn't happen all the time. I've heard stories of people, of other black people with their hair. Somebody try to touch the dreadlocks because again, it's just that fascination, just that observation. Because again, it's not because again, like Asian culture, like everybody has that straight long hair most of the time, especially for women. So just the fact that a black man has dreadlocks is like that these kids, they've seen rappers have this, seen basketball players have it. It's like, what the hell is this? This is real. The
Shoot,
best comparison,
I'd go over there acting like I was DJ Khaled. I'd be.
yeah, basically, and they'll probably believe you too. No, the best comparison I would say was like the black in Korea. It's like if you remember that scene in Jurassic Park when they saw the dinosaurs the first time, they took out the sunglasses because that's what it's like to be black in Korea because that's how people be staring like that.
Yeah. Wow. Really?
Yeah, I mean Asia in general, but I know China will be a lot worse. It'll be a hell of a lot worse than China for the stares.
Now, you blamed a lot of it for not knowing and for people not knowing or seeing another person of color or seeing,
Yeah.
different cultures, if you will. Now, how long did it take before you realized that not all of it was racist? I'm sure some of it is,
Oh,
but
some of it definitely.
yeah, how long did it take before you can, kind of decide which one was which?
I think, especially when you live in a place like Asia, uh, I think it does take a long time, especially when you move from one country to another, especially to a different region around the world. So it's just one of those moments where it's like, depending on the person, you kind of absorb it quickly, or sometimes it takes a little bit longer until you may not see it or be exposed to it until a certain time in the future.
Mm.
So it's not. So in some places, even pre-COVID, there were like bars and restaurants that said no foreigners allowed.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah, I mean
Wow.
it's pretty rare though. This was pre-COVID, and I guess maybe because there were some foreigners who acted a fool and got gives a bad reputation, something like that, or the owners just being assholes.
Yeah, sure. Um, Incheon is such a
Yeah,
beautiful city.
yeah.
Uh, I love the photos. I don't know if I can't remember if you took the photos or if you had a friend of yours take the photos. I
Nah, I
think
took the photos.
did you? Okay.
Yeah, I got
Um,
thousands of photos.
and the photos are great too, by the way.
Thanks.
But the city. When did you take the photos? First off, because it's going to lead into my
I
next
started
question.
research for the well. I started really when I first moved to Incheon back in March 2020. I moved
So
there to
COVID just
start a new
started.
job. Yeah, so because as you know, new city, go exploring. And I just moved there just as soon as shit hit the fan last year for everybody around the world. And
Yeah,
yeah, so
facts. Yeah. Well, the
unfortunately,
reason I
I couldn't.
asked.
Yeah, no,
Well,
please
the
go.
reason I asked. I'm sorry to cut you off. The reason I
Yeah,
asked was because the pictures that you took, it looked like almost like a ghost city,
yeah.
and it looks like if it was any normal day besides the COVID and all that kind of stuff, it looked like it would be popping over there.
Oh,
Like
definitely,
it looks like it would be a capital city.
it
Um,
does.
for
It
sure.
does.
So
Yes, it's hard to say because again, I never really been to Incheon myself pre-COVID, so I can't really confirm or deny if it would have been like larger population, be people out and stuff. But I'm pretty sure it would be.
makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So how long did you stay in Incheon?
Just for the year, I moved in March 2020, and then I left at the end of February because my contract ended, and unfortunately, it didn't get renewed. Me, my boss, my coach, our contract didn't get renewed.
Okay, that kind of leads me into my next question.
Sure.
You're a teacher, correct?
Yes, sir. ESL teacher.
Um, so were you teaching English in Incheon, or were you doing something
Uh,
else?
it, my situation was weird compared to
Okay.
pretty much everybody else's. Like
Okay, this
as
is
mentioned
good.
before, so I moved to Incheon because I quit a other job. I was in another city at the time. I quit that job because I was burnt out working the type of ESL industry I was in, and I wanted something different. And so I got the job offer for Incheon back in January 2020. So I moved in March again, as I said, like when shit just went crazy. And so I worked at an English center in the elementary school.
Okay.
So for this job, I would have taught adults in the morning. Unlike other jobs, I would taught adults in the morning and then elementary students in the afternoon, which is okay, no problem. And in the so in Korea, we usually start school. Usually starts the first day of March of the year, usually the first Monday. But because of COVID, schools never opened up even for online until uh, mid-April, mid-April 2020. Is that when we went to offline teaching? I guess you could say.
So how
How fun
difficult
is it?
was it? How difficult is that?
Yeah,
Because I know
I
I
heard the
know
stories. Yeah,
I know here the teachers, they kind of
yeah,
it almost seemed like they enjoyed it, but you could tell because I would sit in on some of the classes with my kids. They
right,
struggled.
right.
They struggled a little bit. They did struggle,
Yeah, I'm not
especially when
surprised.
the kids are at
I heard
home.
similar stories.
So
But
tell me
me
about it.
personally, yeah, I didn't get a chance to teach at all for my school for my job because again, the English center I worked at, we never opened up the whole time I was employed there. But
Wow.
I not got a chance to teach. So originally, from March to May, a boss she kind of had us prepare our lesson plans and whatnot for offline teaching. And then around June, she says, "Hey, can you convert your lessons for online teaching?"
Wow.
And then later on that same month, she told us that we're going to shut down. We're going to be stuck at home. We're going to stay home. We put on leave for like the summertime and be back in September.
Did you get paid?
And yeah, except I only got reduced salary, like 70% of my salary,
Oh wow.
which sucked. And it was a struggle to pay. And so I went on vacation. I get my quote unquote vacation. And that's when I started writing research in the Incheon book. You can have the free time to do so. Gotta give me something to do. And then September rolls around and we find out we're going to be still closed. October rolls around, closed. November rolls around, still closed. And again, no teaching. I still got paid, but it was just I was stuck at home for like 8 months being miserable.
Oh God. I would.
Yeah.
And over
And
there,
then
I'm sure.
literally
I'm
at
sure
the
they
yeah,
were. I'm sure they clamped down a little harder out there too, compared to
yeah, they
here.
did. And my boss used to tell me the reason she believes that the principal did open up our classes because he was afraid that if we open up either our English class or any other afternoon class or activity, parents would demand and complain that why don't you open up all the afternoon classes and stuff.
Hmm.
So, and then literally at the end of November, my boss called me to let me know that there's a possibility that we'll all be out of a job.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't confirmed at the time, but my boss said she kind of knows the principal, and he's pretty stubborn in his way. So it looks like we're all going to be out of a job. So literally that day, I started sending out resumes and stuff.
Hmm.
And of course, literally on New Year's Day, 2021, she calls to inform me that yeah, we're out of a job. We gotta leave at the end of our contract.
Damn.
Yeah,
So,
it's a bummer. I miss
is
the area.
I'm sure. I'm sure it looks it's beautiful. Seriously,
It
from the
is.
pictures you took. Now, the resume. Did you write your resume in Korean?
No, I use English. Use English. Of course, you got people who can translate it for Korean staffers and stuff.
Okay.
And so I've been searching resumes, but nothing was sticking. And then literally February, my last month of my contract, I was about to be kicked out of my apartment and stuff. My employer provided an apartment, and then I got an ad. I saw an ad about teaching English in the countryside of Korea, where I'm at right now. And I'm like, all right, let's give it a whirl. And then a few days later, I got asked to just send a official application form, fill out application form, fill it out, and then they asked me for an interview like within the next few hours. So I
Mm,
did the interview. I got the job offer quickly, and so here I am right now in the countryside.
that's cool, man.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually got pretty lucky because where I'm at, the city's not bad itself. It's just a location. It's not the most popular location for foreigners. Like most foreigners don't want to live in the countryside.
sure.
They want
Now
to
I
be in
saw
the
you when
city.
you did your live on Instagram, and you were walking.
Yeah,
It looked like a trail.
yeah, yeah.
But then you bumped into someone's house. You were like, "Oh shit, that's someone's house."
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That Buddhist temple. Yeah. I didn't know that was a house. Like I thought it was like part of the temple because the building looked like it was looked like a temple. So
Sure. It was a beautiful house too at that.
yeah, yeah. That's not
So
my area. So I'm in a different spot.
gotcha. So what
That
are
was
the chances of somebody coming out and saying something to you if you're walking in front of their yard? You specifically. You specifically.
probably not.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just
uh,
curious.
yeah, no, I doubt it. Plus, I mean, I'm not gonna be that guy who takes like I usually don't like take pictures of people's houses because it's just disrespectful to me at least. I believe
Yeah, for
taking a
sure.
picture of somebody's house, somebody's living there and stuff like that's their property, that's their space.
Yeah. Gotcha. Um Incheon, you talked about how it was fairly flat. I'm going to try to lead into the next book. So
Yeah,
you in Incheon, you talked about how fairly flat it was, and in Daegu, you talked about basically the massive hills. And if you're willing to
yeah,
walk these hills, there's some great spots. Um, that's about the point where I got to. So
yeah,
if you can you kind of just talk about how Daegu is, and I guess later on we can kind of contrast and compare the two
sure.
cities, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Now Korea itself, the Korean Peninsula, both North and South Korea, they're pretty famous for its mountains. Like it's a mountainous country. Like some everything's almost built on hills and mountains, really.
Mm,
So and hiking is a very, very popular activity for Koreans and also foreigners to do on the weekends.
that sounds fun.
So yeah, which is why, and of course, they got some amazing views too, depending on which mountain, which trail you go to.
Gotcha.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so now the spots I went to, they weren't really meant built on hills as much. So in Incheon, whereas again, Daegu has a little bit more. Like
Hmm.
in most spots, depending where you stay, you probably have a mountain in your back in the back of your window too, in the backyard, really.
Oh, that's sweet though. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice little view.
Especially if you go away from the metro area, you see a little bit more of older Daegu and also some more. You see more green hills, maybe some a
Hmm.
mountain or two, maybe.
Oh, I did want to go. I believe it was Incheon. It was a one piece little museum or something like
Yeah,
that, something to
cafe,
that
the cafe.
effect.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I'm not. I don't know much about anime or anything, so I'm not gonna pretend like I
right.
do. But um, that looks so fucking cool. First off, just to see that
Yeah,
that I don't know the culture, I guess, or whatever. Because I don't. The only way you'll see something like that here is like in Disneyland, Disney World, or something
right.
like that. You know what I mean? To have something like that, like on a corner, it's pretty cool to see. Um, you did talk about gaming. How
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
gamer, and is it Smash Brothers? Is that right?
Hmm.
Um, now, and you also mentioned that you haven't been able to do it since COVID. But
Yeah, exactly.
how well did you rank when you had those competitions and stuff like that? I'm just
I'm
interested,
gonna have,
man, because dude
yeah.
coming over, dude coming over there from over here, and he's just over there like he's either trash or he's wrecking shit. You know? What I mean?
I'll say I'm tossed about around the middle rank.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
my main character is Salmon, so everybody knows who I am. Because one,
yeah,
I'm one of the
okay.
few black people. I'm one of the few black people who, like, one of at the time, like one of three black people who go to the events to do that.
For
And of
those of you
course,
that don't know, Samus is from Metroid.
yeah, Metro, yeah. And also everybody knew. I get pretty much my Salmon was pretty well known in this spot. So, now fun fact. So, in Korea, uh, there's always been more preference for PC mobile games.
Okay.
And so Smash Bros. Didn't really
Pokemon Go.
have a scene until Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Switch came out.
Okay.
That's when it blew up.
Gotcha.
Uh, and I've been to a couple tournaments, meetups, and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. Just hang out, meet other people, meet other players.
Do they
Uh,
offer alcohol in places like that?
yeah, there's actually this place called Core A Studios. They have it's like a fighting game cafe
Okay.
type place. So you pay like I think it was like $10. Let's say about $10. You get free beer, drink, and then you play whatever fighting game they have.
Oh, that's cool.
Usually the top games would be Smash Bros, Street Fighter, and Tekken.
Right on. Right on. Right on. Tekken's
Uh,
my shit.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you're gonna lose if you come over here. I've seen the players in person. You will
Nah,
not
man.
survive.
I've seen video. I've seen video, dude, and no, I cannot compete. No. No
Yeah.
fucking way.
Nah, there's some players here who are just as good, who are even way better than me.
Yeah.
But now me personally, I really haven't played Smash Bros in weeks because I just don't have the incentive since there's no offline meetups or tournaments to go to. It's
Yeah.
like, just kind of like, what's the point?
Sure. Nah, I understand. Okay. So Incheon looks like more like a sleepy town, but like at night it looks like it kind of turns over, and people come
Yeah,
out there.
definitely.
Daegu though, you described as like a major city. What are the impacts there now? Um, can you do anything out there at this point? You know.
Now pre-COVID, I can say right now, like sitting downtown on the nice weekends, it'd be lit. Like you had Koreans, ESL teachers, and also the army guys. They'd be out there, especially going to bars, restaurants. And one famous bar I think you may, if you've probably seen in the book, it's in the book called Go Go's.
Okay.
So imagine you paying like about $2 to $6 for a Capri Sun type pouch for alcohol.
That's not bad, dude.
Yeah. So think about like Japan, like for a Jägermeister Capri Sun or something like that, and or you take it to go.
How much money?
I think it usually about $2 to $5. We'll say.
Wow, wow. And that's another thing too. The currency. You did mention it, and I don't know the name of it now. Can
The
you give it
South
to me real
Korean
quick?
won. The South
Won,
Korean won.
won, won.
WON.
That should have been easy for me to remember.
Yeah.
Um, so so you were in Chan. Um, were you in Incheon before or after Daegu? It seemed
Before
that
Daegu.
after.
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
it
sorry.
was
After
before.
Daegu.
After, okay,
So I
because the
was
reading of the
Daegu
book sounds
first.
like it was after.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in Daegu first, and August 2018 to August 2019. So I stayed there for the year. And that actually worked full time. So that was pretty cool. But yeah. Uh, yeah, so as you probably know, it's like, as soon as I can tell, I can confirm a lot of things that happened in Daegu.
Hmm.
Uh, but of course, when 2020 happened, and also Daegu was the epicenter of COVID when it first broke out around the world,
Oh
unfortunately.
shit, that
So
was the first spot.
yeah, I mean, there were a couple of spots, but it was like the big epicenter. It hit international
Wow.
news and stuff. Like
Hmm.
seeing downtown just empty, like a ghost town and stuff. Like this ain't normal. Like even when I went back to research for the book, like even I felt it like, yeah, this isn't like Daegu it used to be.
Hmm. Different. I hear you. So, tell me about Daegu. Since I know a little bit more about Incheon because I actually read it.
Mhm.
Daegu, I haven't really. I've only gotten to the first few pages, man. I'm so sorry. But
That was okay.
um, so if you had the choice to live either in Daegu or Incheon, I already know the answer by the way because I did
Yeah,
read
yeah.
that part. um, what would you choose, Incheon or Daegu?
I would definitely choose Daegu. For me, at least, I like the location because me personally, while Incheon was nice, it definitely had a pollution problem because it's next near Seoul.
Ah,
So Incheon is close to Seoul. Like you can actually take the train or bus to get there.
how long does it take?
And depending on the spot, you could probably take about 30, 45 minutes.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but up to an hour really. But yeah, and also lower cost of living too
Hmm.
in terms of both cities. Uh,
Gotcha.
and me personally, like now for a lot of foreigners, everyone's always try to be in or near Seoul like all the time.
Sure.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Seoul, but it's like I just don't see the hype behind it. And
Yeah.
for me, at least, if I'm living in another country, I'd rather live kind of away from the main capital area. It's like to be really immersed in the culture, like really, because that's when you actually really, I feel like you get more chance to really understand the culture if you stay away from the capital area. If you not just for tourists stuff, I'm talking about living.
Gotcha. That makes
If you want to
sense.
stay in the capital and go for it, but I feel as though if you at least try maybe for other cities that don't get as much attention.
Hmm.
And usually, when you look online, like if you look at almost every ESL teacher blog, most of them are usually white people, mostly white girls from Seoul, who are talking about living in Seoul and stuff. Busan is also another good option. A lot of foreigners love Busan too.
Hey man, I want to get on that train, bro.
Yeah,
They got zombies on them trains. You ever
yeah.
have
So,
you ever seen?
nah, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah,
So
Train to Busan is really good actually. It's one of my favorite zombie flicks.
just never got
Um,
around to it.
I'm sorry.
I just never got around to watching it yet, personally.
Yeah, right on. I got you. I got you. Okay, so you mentioned that you were an ESL teacher,
Mhm.
and you did you finish college? Because I know you did write about that. You said you were in college. Did you end up finishing college and
Yeah, yeah,
then
definitely.
going
Yes,
then
because you
then
have
go
to.
into okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
have to have a 4 year degree if you want to become an ESL teacher. Or in many countries around the world,
Okay.
you just need
Okay.
a four
Yeah.
year
See, I
degree.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the degree is as long as you have a degree. But of course, if you have education, then you get more advantage in the job application process.
I
Process.
see. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Just like anywhere else, I guess. If the
Yeah, yeah,
person that's best fit for the job, I guess
yeah.
that's who
Or
they'll
you need
choose.
like experience, especially if you have experience working with kids. So
Do you have any experience working with
I
kids?
mean, I've done volunteer stuff with kids for years, a couple years ago, even before I moved over. But in terms of teaching, no.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So,
So what grades do you teach?
I teach. I'm in elementary. I usually take. I'll say let's teach about third to fifth grade.
Damn, and they be calling you Wuhan teacher?
Uh,
That's some bullshit, man. How you gonna have me
no, we're
fifth
kind of
grader
teaching.
calling me a
Nah,
Wuhan teacher?
nah. They call me usually. They know me as Pokemon teacher because I used to get Pokemon shit in my classroom.
Facts, facts.
And
Yeah,
of
you
course,
talk.
I let the kids know, like, yes, I play Pokemon, and yes, I'll fucking wreck you.
And your pops and everybody that wants to play Pokemon Go, your family, anybody.
I let them know, like, yeah, oh, you're gonna use a legendary team? How cute! I got you.
Yeah, word, word. See, I played. I was on the hype, and I played it probably for a good month or two, and
Mm,
then I guess they updated it and added it to second
yeah,
generation or something. And by that time, I was just like, all right, it's kind of I'm good now. You know what I mean? I don't have to play it
yeah.
anymore.
Actually, yeah. Fun
I know
fact:
people that
Pokemon. Yeah,
play that shit now to this day like it's religious. You know what I mean?
yeah. Actually, Pokemon in Korea when Pokemon Go first came out, you couldn't play it at all. Like because
Is it because of the
the
locations where you can go to
well,
and
no, I mean no, it's more like because you kind of use Google Maps for
yeah.
Pokemon Go.
Hmm.
Fortunately, yeah, Google Maps don't work in Korea
Ah.
because of North Korea. Because
Ah, I
technically
was gonna
so.
get to it. I was gonna get to North Korea. I definitely
Yeah,
was. I was hoping to get to it
yeah,
here
yeah, we'll get
soon.
to that. But yeah, so there's this one small town on the East Coast, like the very northwest corner of Korea, I think of Sukcho or something like that. Like, it was the only place in Korea when the first game came out, like September 2016. It was the only place in Korea where you could play Pokemon Go. So during that summer, you had both Koreans and foreigners taking the bus to go visit that town to play
Just to go to
Pokemon
that
Go.
town.
Yeah.
I bet you did it bring. I bet it brought a lot of money and tourism to that city
Oh, for that one time, yes, definitely.
for
I
sure.
didn't go personally. Uh, and actually to this day, like I admit myself, I was kind of on off again with Pokemon Go. I stopped for like almost 2 years and got back into it last year. And also met some other Pokemon Go players. So, it kind of helped me out a lot too, just meeting people and going to, the meetups.
Yeah, for sure. Um, how hard was it to like get a social life out there to find friends, or does that even matter to you? I mean, I don't know your person. I don't know who I don't really know you, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know your personality, and I just are you very social, and was it hard to
I
kind
would
of
say
socialize?
I was like a social introvert.
Okay.
I'm not socializing, but of course, some most in the pre-COVID terms, like I'd rather stay at home on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
I usually stay at home because you know how it was. Like we work so many shitty jobs. It's like I'm tired. I don't want to go out and do anything on the weekends.
Facts.
Like so that's why I personally go out as much. Uh, but if in terms of foreigners, of course you can always meet. This is pre-COVID days. Like usually almost every city where there's ESL teachers, there's usually like kind of like the foreigner bar. There's usually a particular bar, Korean bar that the foreigners usually go up to
Oh
meet up
shit! They
and socialize.
segregating y'all.
Yeah. Uh, no. It's not that separation. It's more like uh, people just go there. That was usually the
Nah,
spot.
common people. Where you can actually talk. Your
Yeah,
language.
yeah. Also, there's different events. Like I said, I did Smash Bros. I also, for a time, I did rec league, ultimate frisbee. So they have
Mm.
like 9, 10 different teams around the country playing ultimate
Holy
frisbee.
shit! Yeah. Ultimate Frisbee. I'll tell you what. Ultimate Frisbee's hard, bro.
Yes.
That's
But
hard.
yeah, it's a little weekend activity people like to do.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, hiking. There's different Facebook groups for different, for depending on your activity where you're into. Of course, there's like football clubs, soccer. Um, I also started in 2019. I started up a Smash Bros tournament scene in Daegu.
Mm.
One of the restaurants in the book I mentioned called Mitos. The owner, he lets let's host tournaments there. So shout out to him for that. It was small, but also both Korean and foreign players were happy to have that venue because going because they agreed, including me, like we're tired of going to Seoul because it costs a lot of money to travel there on the weekends, plus hotel. To where
Yeah.
Daegu is like a little bit cheaper option. Doesn't take as much time.
Wow. And you said just 30 minutes. I guess that's kind of like here in Virginia. I'm about 45 minutes away from DC,
Yeah,
Washington
no,
DC.
from Daegu to Seoul, that was like a 3 hour bus ride
Oh, okay.
and
That's
one
way
and a half
out there.
hours by train.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Damn. That's
and of
crazy.
course, I had other people who come from a thing called Pohang, and that's like a 4 or 5 hour trip to Seoul on the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's on the train, right? A train
that
or
is bus.
what do you call it? KTX?
Yeah,
The
KTX, yeah.
Korean. Yeah. Yeah.
Trade
Yeah.
Express, yeah. I think
Um.
so, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what you said in the book. KTX, Korean Transit Express, or something like that. Um. Okay. So, do you speak Korean?
No. I know
See,
you words
a
and
lot of
phrases.
people don't. A lot of people don't understand that you don't have to speak the language in order to teach out there.
No,
You know
you
what I'm
don't.
saying?
But it does
It
help a
helps,
lot.
I'm
It can help a
sure.
lot, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And also helps get around when you got like basic questions. Say where's the food section? Where's the um. Now learning how to read Korean is much easier than learning how to speak it.
Interesting.
So yeah, if you get a chance, you should really look up the history of the Hangul Korean language because I think it was King Sejong. He decided to come up with a written language to help his people learn how to read.
Mm.
So even right now, as I'm studying right now, like yeah, learning how reading. So it's like basically reading a puzzle. Like you read the puzzle games like that, then you'll probably enjoy learning how to read Korean.
That's cool, man. Here, I'm actually looking it up right now as we speak.
Yeah, so learning how to
Um,
read Korean is pretty easy. It's just learning how to speak it and the grammar and the sentence structures. That's what makes it a lot harder for foreigners to
mhm.
learn how to read. So uh, some foreigners they just don't learn how to speak Korean, despite living here for like 5, 10, 20 years.
That's kind of like here, when you
Yeah.
got like people from Spanish countries that want to come here and not learn the language and stuff like that. It happens, sure.
Well, you also got to remember English is a very hard language to learn.
See, I hear that a lot. And like
Yeah, it is.
when you're American, it almost sounds like every other language is hard as hell to learn, you know?
Yeah. Well, also, I think a big problem in America is there's not really much emphasis on learning another language because most places people don't live in that region or place like California, New York, where you're like, I can't use another language.
Yeah,
Like,
very
yeah, so
true.
like, I mean, unless you got Spanish,
Yeah.
but
I was going
again,
to say
usually,
Spanish is probably the second language of this country
yeah,
right
that's
now.
second language. But again, it's like we a lot of Americans don't live in places where Spanish is useful,
Sure.
or like, so that does make it a little bit challenging too. So I do wish that we did have more emphasis and try to encourage more people to learn more languages, right? But at
Yeah,
the same time, I understand why because most Americans don't live in that spot where they can use it.
sure. That is absolutely true.
I always found one thing amazing when living abroad. I find out it's like that how some Americans are proud of the fact they never left their city or state. Like that,
Yeah, that's fucked up. You
yeah.
got to leave, man. Get out of
There's,
there.
I mean, like, there's nothing wrong having love for your hometown, but it's like, while
Facts.
you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, and 50s, just go live somewhere else. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, and that's actually what you said in the beginning of Incheon.
Yeah,
Um, how you want to help, you want more black people from America to travel more, not to be so, and not to be worried about getting stares or
yeah,
people. You have to understand that, like you said earlier, they don't see us much.
yeah.
So that's all part of it. So I get it. I understand that for real. Um, so how much Korean would you say you've learned? You've been there since 20, you've been there for about 5 years now. So
Yeah.
how much Korean would you say that you've learned since you've been there?
Like 1% of the language is using one word. Basically, like words
You
that
know
we
how to
use,
get around. That's
we
about
use.
it,
Like
right?
if you ever work for kindergarten daycare, that's basically the words you use. Like, come here, no, no, right here, please. Stuff like that.
That makes sense. That's like with me. I say that I know about as much Spanish as a 5-year old.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
too. Yes, that's why. Me too. Same.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's like, you know what I mean. I'm Puerto Rican, so it's like people always tell me
Yeah,
you should know Spanish. You need to learn. You need to learn. I'm at the point now. It's just like you don't have to tell me I need to learn shit. To be
yeah,
perfectly honest, I've been doing fine till now. You know what I mean? But I would
right,
love to learn. Like, um, my favorite. Well, I would love to go to South Korea first off.
right,
But like most of those Asian countries really interest me. Japan especially. Um,
right.
being in South Korea, being there for so long,
Hmm.
how is the culture? How is North Korea looked at? Is it
Uh,
positive? Is it negative? I mean,
Negative.
is it?
Yeah. Now, when I first raised the idea of my family about moving to South Korea, I had family being worried, say, "Oh, what if North Korea attacks? What if North Korea attacks?" And I'll admit, I had that same concern too myself.
Uh,
Now, me personally, I don't think so. Because North Korea, they're just that one kid who likes to talk shit but can't back it up.
mm-hmm.
I mean, they do try to start a fight, they'll fight dirty, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, they're not gonna try to start shit because I believe personally one reason because besides the lack of training and military equipment, is more the fact that the Kim family and the other North Korean leaders, they're gonna lose power and all their wealth if they start a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, China, they've already said that, hey, if you try to start shit, we're not gonna help
Yeah.
you. Yeah, but the only reason China keeps them around because North Korea is basically like a shield, like a border from South Korea and America.
Yeah. Democracy, basically.
Democracy. So
Between
that's why
yeah.
that's the only reason they're keeping their dumb asses.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before, and I thought that was such a good point.
Yeah.
Um, have you heard the Joe Rogan podcast with Yeomi Park?
No.
She escaped from North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
She claims that the state, the government, doesn't give them anything, and everything in the country is owned by the state, the
Yeah,
government.
that's correct.
Um, so that being said, like nobody has anything unless you are faithful to the government, and most of the people that live in Pyongyang are the people that are the most loyal.
Right.
Um, I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
No,
uh,
that's true. That I actually did like a little volunteer with this seed group where they smuggle vegetable seeds into North Korea and they try to help North
wow.
Korean refugees. Uh, yeah. So so I did learn a little bit something like that.
So, have you ever met anybody from North Korea?
No, no, personally, no.
Okay, okay, just curious. So, do they ever like say? I know they look at them negatively compared to you know whatever. I know they look at North Korea negatively, but are
Mhm.
there some sympathizers that you know of?
Sympathizers, as far as I know, no. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure there are.
Yeah,
And of
there
course,
always is.
my students, they will always like to use Kim's name like as a joke. Like or like say if they're writing sentences or making it sentence, right? Some of them like to use Kim Jong Un, like use Kim as a joke.
Hmm.
So, you always so I had students like roasting the Kim family all the time.
Yeah, no doubt. That's cool, man. Um. So, what can we expect from you in the next? How first? Well, before I even ask that, how
Yeah.
long are you going to be in there for? How long are you going to stay there in Korea for?
As long as I need to until I get bored, really. Until I'm
Yeah,
more like
not
financially
bored yet,
stable
huh?
again. Yeah, not yet. Uh, nah, I'm only staying around because one, I'm more safer here than America in terms of COVID.
Ah, I got you. Yeah, I'm one of the ones that is not really scared of it.
Yeah,
I don't.
nah, I'm not.
I
I'm
don't.
taking. Nah, I'm taking this shit seriously.
Yeah, I hear
Because
you.
what scared me the most was like, I think it was his name, Stephen Harmon, was like a 34-year-old brother, black man, who was anti-vaxxer, and he died.
Hmm.
And that was the week, and I got when I got vaccinated, like before I got vaccinated, when I heard news about that, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking this shit seriously.
Yeah.
I took it seriously from the beginning because the reason I kept so much indoors during last year because if I had one of those job hunting, I knew that if I got sick, it probably hurt my if I tested positive for COVID, it probably hurt my chances of finding a job. Because usually for ESL teachers, when you start working here, and especially when you start a new job, you always have to get a medical exam. You have to do a health exam.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's usually mostly make sure you're healthy, you got no STDs, HIV, all that
Nah,
jazz.
they just wanted to make sure you
Make
that
sure you're
that the
clean.
equipment matched the body size.
Yeah,
That's what it
exactly,
was.
exactly. Yeah, but no, but really, it can't hurt you. Like, if terms like if you do have like health issues, and I was afraid, like I'm not sure of this, but I don't want to take the risk that if I did test positive for COVID and it was on my medical records, it probably hurt my chances of finding that job. So that's why I took it really serious.
Yeah. No, especially being out there, I think you should.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Being here, you always have that choice of, you know what I'm saying. There's always people that don't believe it. There's always people that are iffy about it, and there's always people that are, very militant about stuff like that. You know, but I think with, it's really hard to say, man. I don't think that vaccinations should be like you have to take it, but at the same time, if you want to, you should be able to. You know what I'm saying? You should have that choice.
I think
Uh,
we need to push it because way too many people are dying, and not especially the Delta variant around. Like, you got kids who are about to die really soon, who are in
yeah.
hospitals. So like, and the scary part is, I think why I'm more for mandate vaccines because unless you have medical reason why you can't do it, of course.
Sure.
I think because again, like kids, I work in education. I work with kids, and anybody who works with children can tell you kids carry a lot of germs, bacteria.
Kids are
I've been
dirty,
sick.
bro.
Yeah, kids are dirty, man. I got sick from them so many times, right? In
Hmm.
previous jobs. So I ask anybody who works with children, they'll tell you the times that flu season come around, we got sick from them at the school, daycare. It happens
Facts.
all the time.
Facts.
They carry us, and they don't know it. Of course, no one can tell.
Yeah.
And the reason I say we need to get more vaccines, is because, again, like a lot of children, I've seen reports, a lot of children are testing positive for COVID or ending up in the pediatric emergency hospitals
Hmm.
when it really shouldn't be. Or I'm afraid more, it's just like they're going to be asymptomatic carriers and bring it home to the parents, and the parents
Hmm.
end up dying.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, if you're a parent, I say get vaccinated because a lot of kids, they're either out one parent or both parents. They could be end up becoming orphans. And I say this: if you're vaccine hesitant, I understand the scares, but think about this: if you're a parent, what's going to happen if you die from COVID right now? What's going to happen to them? You should get vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's really lean towards getting vaccinated because again, like there are a lot of kids around the world, even in America, they lost one parent or both parents.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to be like, oh, like I guess quote unquote dictator trying to force it on you. Just like think about this: like if you're a parent like me, I ain't got my kids, right? But if I was a parent, I would get vaccinated as soon as I possibly can. Because
Sure.
again, I don't know, because I could bring it towards him, especially the Delta variant, where it's more contagious. If children could get it, my child could die, or they could bring it home and I end up dying, they could feel responsible because they got it at their school.
Hmm. I get
So
it.
I say look at those fronts.
No, I understand for sure. For sure. I think at the same time we have to, what if something happened while after you take the vaccine? Like let's say 10
Yeah.
years from now you get something, because from what I understand that some of the vaccines or I don't know which one it is exactly,
It
but
was Johnson that had like the blood clot. That was
okay, blood clot, and then there
Johnson.
was
Yeah, that
one
had
that
his blood clot.
changed that actually changed your RNA.
I
I
don't
think
think
that's the
that.
one. That's the one that what's the dude from Microsoft that owns Microsoft? Bill Gates. Bill
Yeah,
Gates sponsored or he funded, and it actually changes your RNA. Like, who's to say that in 10 years from now, changing your RNA isn't like fucking deadly? You know what I'm saying? When you could have maybe gotten through the coronavirus scare and not have to deal with, I don't know, it
right.
just like, for me, I think it's like I'm not going to inject something in my body quite yet without it being like, we all know that the influenza, there's different variants of that, and there's different vaccinations for that. There's measles, mumps, rubella. There's all these smallpox. There's all these polio. There's all these vaccines that have been proven over time that actually work, and I think it's just still a little bit too early. Just a little bit too early. Give me
Right.
a couple more years, and more people getting it. Then I would feel comfortable getting it. But to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest, I'm gonna be full disclosure here. I don't even get the flu vaccine because I don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
No,
but that's just my personal. But that's my personal thing. So like, if the person next to me is vaccinated, they truly shouldn't have anything to worry about. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's all I feel about that. I think it should be a personal choice. But and I understand being in a different country, you don't have that necessarily. And especially with you, when they're probably not going to hire you unless you do have it. So I
right.
get all that. My wife got it. Listen, my wife got it, and that's fine. I didn't care that she got it. She got it because she wanted to get it. My 20-year-old got it. So I'm all pro-choice when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Um, but anyway, I don't even know why I got on that. See,
Yeah.
that's I try really hard not to get on politics, but it always seems to push me in that direction whenever we have a conversation, and whenever I have a conversation, really.
Right. Right.
Um, so you're out in the country now. You've been to Incheon, you've been to Daegu, you've been to Seoul. How many other cities have you visited since you've been out there?
Let's see. I've been to Andong. I've been to Jeonju, Masan. I've been to like let's see, Jeonju, Changwon, Busan, Masan, Changwon. She's like 7, 10 different cities.
That's
Even before
wow,
COVID.
wow.
Yeah, I lived in like 5 different cities.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, would you consider yourself hometown South Korea at this point, or would you like what I mean is, would you in the Olympics, let's say, would you
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you would you root for South Korea or would Korea because they do it as one nation?
I always say I would do Team USA. Just got to
Yeah,
represent hometown, home turf.
yeah,
Unfortunately, in Korea, I think other Asian countries like it's like one problem is they're so with their society is like no matter if it doesn't matter if I was fluent in Korean, if I understand Korean culture, it's like I'm not seen as Korean because I'm not Korean. I don't look Korean or not act
sure.
Korean.
Hmm.
Even Korean Americans, like Koreans who are born out, like say U.S., Canada, or wherever else, right? They get treated differently.
Mm.
Yeah, like even they get treated
Worse or
differently because,
best? Worse
huh?
or better? I mean, worse or
I think a
better?
little bit worse. Probably middle,
Wow,
so, because
wow,
I guess to them it's like you're not truly Korean because you don't have the true Korean accent or some bullshit like that.
wow.
Yeah, like there's stories that you probably see online, like how, or in some cases like skin tone. Like you probably know, like, a lot of Asian culture, like they prefer having fairer, lighter skin, right?
Hmm.
And also for darker Asian folk, like the Filipinos, South Thai folk, they get looked down differently. Even those are darker skinned Koreans, like tan lines, they get looked differently, treated differently than those with a lighter skin tone.
I can't remember if it was where I read it in your book, but
Yeah.
did you describe why that is in your
Yes,
book?
I
Okay,
think it's
okay.
on
Can
me.
you describe to the people that are listening
Yeah. So
why
this
that
is
is?
even so in many countries like in Asia, like from India, Thailand, Korea, Japan, China. There's always been an emphasis like for women, like there's always been seen as a symbolism, like seen as a sign of wealth. That the lighter you are, you're wealthy because you're not a poor peasant rice farmer who works in the sun all day. So there's still that mentality, even to this day, even before colonial, before colonization, all that. There's always been that mentality. And also, I found it later on because in many cultures, like the Asian gods, like they're seen as many of the goddesses, they had lighter skin. This is seen as a sign of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So usually that's why you probably see a lot of light uber light skin Koreans, Asian women,
Yeah.
and also they tried their best to block the sun. They'll have parasols or hats and stuff to make sure they don't get a tan, get a darker skin tone.
Sure. So essentially,
Then,
the people.
yeah,
So essentially, the people that were more wealthy, the rich people that stayed inside more
right,
often, had the lighter skin compared to the people, like you said, that worked out in the rice fields.
right.
Um, that's crazy to me. You know,
Yeah, that's
not
the
well. It's
historical
not that
thing.
far. It's really not that far off comparatively
Yeah,
to us. You know, in the United States, but to see that it's literally their own people. They're all
yeah,
one people that's fallen into that. To me that's kind of crazy, man.
yeah. So that's the culture. That's how they do things. Can't be
Mm-hmm.
helped.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, who are we to judge, right?
Yeah, we ain't screwed
Exactly.
anything.
I'm glad you
But
I'm glad you're doing well out there, man. For real. That's
yeah,
that's that's awesome to see, man. And I hope that, all your gaming, needs get met soon, man, because I
hopefully that's why we get more vaccines so we can open up
yeah.
again.
Hey,
So I get
man.
these tournaments. Can I get these hands again?
Sure. If that's what it takes, man, fuck it. For real.
That's why I say get vaccinated so we can do more gaming tournaments again. For the love of God, I miss going to tournaments.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
now that
sure.
so it's not mandatory for everybody over there yet.
No. Well, I think for educators, I'm going to say yes because right now, of course, as probably in the U.S., medical staff and senior population, they went first with the vaccines, and now back in July, around mid July 2020, 2021, excuse me, is when I guess educators it was our turn. People who are teachers.
Uh huh.
Unfortunately, I was supposed to get my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine this Friday, August 20th. But recently, over the weekend, the Korean government decided to push back because they had a lower supply than anticipated. So
Hmm.
now I gotta wait till September 3rd to get vaccinated. And
Oh man.
of course, many Koreans and foreigners were all pissed off about that because we gotta use our personal time off to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Now, for me at least, like because September 3rd is a Friday. Now, me for personally, I finished teaching. I'm done teaching my students around by lunchtime, right? So I'll be able to leave early. But again, I got to put in all that quest. I can use my personal time off just to get vaccinated, which is annoying.
Yeah. For sure.
And I'm on vacation right now at the time of recording, so it's like so I was gonna use my vacation time to get the shot, rest, and be fine before we go back to school.
Sure.
And now
Just in
I
case
gotta
there's
use my
any side
time off.
effects.
Yeah.
Damn. Damn.
Personally,
That sucks.
Pfizer vaccine, my first dose, I got it back July 30th. I had no problems. Except mine's a little sore arm. That was about it. Nothing serious.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
So
Thank you, man. Oh, go ahead. If there's something else you needed to say, you go right ahead, man.
uh, yeah. Before I sign off, if you want to see my you want to think about pushing the books, the Black Travelers Guide to Incheon, Incheon, and the Black Travelers Guide to Daegu, Daegu. Both books on Amazon right now. You can follow me on Instagram at the Blerd Explorer. Uh, in case that one person asks, no, this is not. You don't have to be black to read this book. Like anybody's welcome to read
I read it.
it.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're part black. You're good enough. No, but
I'm sure I'll be looked at like that anywhere else I go
exactly.
out of the yeah, straight up.
Yeah, no, jokes aside though, but it really is. He's Puerto Rican. He can tell you, like, it's really designed for anybody to read it. But
Facts.
again, it's more just for black people because again, black people just don't travel as a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I see
See,
more, but it just never was a thing for us, unless you were in the military. Because
yeah.
that's for me at least. That's the only time I ever heard of a black person ever traveling because they were army.
Yep. That's what one thing they told me when my mom kicked me out. You're gonna travel all over the world. I did not give a shit about traveling all over the world at 18.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's when I joined the military. But anyway, thank you, man, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to do this, man. This has been real fun, man, for real. And I've been wanting to do this for about a week now because reading the book and oh, by the way, congratulations, over 50 sales on your books. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank
Congrats.
you. Thank you.
Everybody needs to go out there and get that book for real. Come on, man. It's less than $20 for two books. Really? I mean, y'all could do that, man. Y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, support us. I mean, unless you see one more content like this, I gotta get paid. I gotta get my business now. But
facts.
I really did enjoy doing this. I'm gonna work on another one soon. I'm actually gonna write a book about the whole country next.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So are you
that's
gonna be
gonna take a lot
traveling the
longer.
whole country? Are you gonna be traveling the
Yeah,
rest of the country and taking
yeah, the rest of
photos
the
and
country.
everything?
Yeah, of course that's going to be. Of course, originally gonna go to Busan this week to start research, but case numbers are way too high
Mm-hmm.
at the time of recording, so I gotta lay low.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, man. Hey, look, take care of yourself for real.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay healthy. When you come back, man, you know what I'm saying? I want everything to be all good for when you get back, whenever
Of
that
course.
is.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. That's gonna be
Yeah,
hard to
facts.
say even when it's safe to travel. It's like, do I really want to go back to the US right now?
Yeah.
Especially because
Oh.
the family and friends in the South. It's like kids numbers too high. I'll just go to Japan. I'll be fine over here.
That, that made me think of a question. Now,
Sure.
were you like, let's say in 2020, 21,
Yeah.
were you able to leave the country if you wanted to, or no?
I mean I could, but just the process is it's just not worth the hassle. Because
Hmm.
like other countries, you gotta get tested like a day or two before you fly out. And then of course you gotta quarantine and for 2 weeks in other countries, especially in Asia. And the problem is when I come back, I got to quarantine for 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and and of course that's gonna be during when I teach, so I got to use my personal time off to just go to
Yeah.
quarantine. So it's just not really worth it.
Yeah, it
Unless
doesn't
I would love
sound
to
like
go travel, it's just not worth the hassle.
for sure. For sure. Damn, man. But still though, you out there, man, and I appreciate that, man, because um I would have never have known anything about these two cities, Incheon and Daegu, at all if it
No one
wasn't for
does.
you.
That's why I wrote them, and also because Seoul and Busan, two bigger, larger cities, like they're oversaturated. Like everybody's wrote and talked about Seoul to death. So that's why I started with these other places because I wanted to, one, stand out, and two, I wanted to show people like, hey, yeah, Seoul's nice, but here's another option. You're looking for a cheaper option.
Yeah. No, that's slick. That's slick. That's like, well, like here. I mean, we're 45 minutes away from DC, so it's like, if people really wanted to go to DC, they would come probably here.
Mm-hmm.
People that are actually, since DC has a lot of federal employees, a lot of those are moving here, and this city has just blown up in the past 5, 6 years.
What city? Wait, Richmond?
Fredericksburg. I'm right in the middle between Washington D.C. and Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 45 minutes from DC, 55 minutes from Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get it, man. But again, I appreciate you coming in, man. We've done an hour, man. So if there's anything else, lastly, I do this a lot, man. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
But if there's
Sure.
anything else you want to say, if there's any way that people can support you other than buying your books, man, please put it out there because the
Yeah.
only thing that really helps people, honestly, is money straight into their pocket. That's the way I believe it. So
Yeah.
if there's like a Cash App or a Venmo or something like that that people can support you directly, can you please give it?
Yeah. Let me find that. Yeah. I mean, you guys do cash if you want to.
Yeah, facts.
Or you guys do. Yeah. So it's $ the number six Raikage Raikage. Uh, you can do that. Also, you can also do PayPal. Either one's fine. Like I said, buying books definitely helps a lot. If you if you know somebody who likes to read, who likes to travel, tell them about these two books. That would definitely help too. I just want as many people to read it, just check it out at least. Um, As you probably seen, if you see in the Amazon reviews, I got some great reviews. And I also have one friend of mine,
Great
a
reviews.
white guy who like even him, like, he's an art guy. He said like he wants to come to Korea now. So I must be doing something right.
Facts. And no,
Uh,
the way you wrote the book, it makes me want to go too, for real.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And hopefully, I hope we can do this again, man. And hopefully, I'll
Yeah,
get back
definitely.
into the Daegu. I'll finish the Daegu book. Um, and hopefully, I hope you get another one in there, man. That'd be cool as shit, especially the one you're in, the town you're in now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
highly also recommend Daegu for sure because in the Daegu book, there's a fried chicken and beer festival I talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you heard that right. A
Did
little
y'all
week
think
long music
was
fried
that
chicken and
did
beer
that not
festival.
feel racist at all or anything? Or I
No, no,
mean,
no, no, no. Koreans love fried chicken more than black people
okay, okay,
because literally everywhere you go in Korea, there's always a fried chicken restaurant everywhere, like chicken
mm,
restaurant everywhere. So
wow.
yeah, like everywhere. Franchise mom and pop places, they're everywhere.
KFC's out there.
Oh yeah, KFC out there too. Yeah.
Wow,
But yeah,
that's
again, more cream franchises and mom and pop places, like they're freaking everywhere, especially in the bigger
yeah,
cities. So,
facts. I
I mean,
compare
besides, fun
com-
fact, I talk about in the book, the Daegu book, but yeah, African Americans help Koreans learn how to fry chicken, so that's why they got it over here.
Is that how it happened for real?
Yeah, during the Korean War, African Americans, because Koreans, apparently historically they never really fried fried chicken like that. So when the African American soldiers came through, I guess sure some Korean soldiers they saw it and they wanted how to make it, and then yeah, black folk, we taught them how to make it. So and then they went on their own, and now it blew up. It's like a massive industry, massively
Freaking cool.
oversaturated industry.
Oh wow. Maybe we can get into that the next time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Peace.